Yes, hello people. Welcome back to another episode of the Navvai Shift. Today I've got my co-host Darnell, and we have a guest that's from overseas again, but his name is Brian, and he's actually the founder of Esposito Intellectual Enterprise. Brian, how are you? You well?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Perfect stuff, perfect stuff. And for the people that are not too familiar with yourself, is it right if you can give us a brief introduction to yourself, the company, and what it is you guys do?
Yeah, so like you said, Brian J. Esposito, 24 plus years as an entrepreneur, building, starting, acquiring companies. Two verticals of my life. You mentioned Esposito Intellectual Enterprises. That's my private holding company. It consists now of over 115 different entities, proudly operating over 25 different industries, and just an amazing arsenal of great IP, technologies, products, solutions, and services. And what I believe are wonderful and exceptional management pushing those companies forward. And then I'm there to help do everything I can to support them, open up new opportunities, connect them with new opportunities, and I take all my learning experiences and continue to build and add to that machine that I've built. I also took over a public company, the other side of my life, known as DLMI. It's a United States public company based out of Salt Lake City, Utah. I took that over as CEO in August of 2023. And we became the first public entity that I believe properly and correctly included tokenization into the business model of building and starting and financing and acquiring companies. So with everything happening in the world right now, it's really great timing for what we set out to do there. I've been involved in tokenization since the beginning, but not as a speculator buying other people's ideas or things like Bitcoin or Ethereum, but building those new technologies or financial instruments properly into companies and the growth of these companies.
That's proper dope. That's dope. What sparked your interest about tokenization?
For me, I looked at it adapt or die. It was something that I picked up early on. I'm a technologist guy. I love building technologies and IP. And I figured this is the evolution of a financial transaction and a great way to build a new community. So way back when we would trade seashells, I would want your stick. Here's my seashell. We would do some sort of transaction. Then it evolved into precious metals, gold and silver, different types of rare earth materials. Then it evolved into things like cash and then credit cards and checks and wiring. So it'd be foolish for anyone to think that whatever our money, our concept of money or trading some sort of financial transaction and whatever it is today would be the end all. If you think that, then you don't understand where we've come from. And if you don't think that, you have to understand, well, we have to keep evolving into different means of ways of transacting. So that's the only reason why I immediately got behind it. I also created a company called Payback, Paybaq, in 2008. I started building that. So if you've seen Venmo or any of these peer-to-peer payment apps, I built that before anybody, just way too early. And I wanted to create this universal token system that could be some sort of, not I want to say it's a fiat currency, but something that would work anywhere around the world that would be able to allow you to buy or transact or send money to somebody. So I was early on building that concept, but now technology has caught up to it, regulations has caught up to it, banking is much more friendly about having digital assets or crypto or token into your account. So the timing of all, for me, it's almost 13 plus years doing this for what's happening now. We're just very well prepared for this movement.
Understood. So, Brian, you just kind of touched on the banking industry and regulations being more friendly in terms of digital assets. How do you think that's changed over the past 5 years?
How drastically. So I never did the gray area. I never did ICOs. I never said, oh, this isn't a security. So I'm sorry, now you mentioned your banking history. I'm compliant to a fault, ethical to a fault. So I appreciate regulation. I love how people try to fight it and say, we don't need it. It's bullshit. But where do they go when there's a problem or fraud? They go to the government for help. And so it's this, this funny mentality people have, like FTX, for example. It's the anti-regulation. It's the democratization of your wealth, the digital assets. Oh, wait, there was a problem there. Now we need you to come in and help us. And so it's just funny to think about. So if you remember some of the disasters that happened that should not have happened, like Silicon Valley Bank, Silvergate Bank, Signature Bank, all these banks getting attacked in 2023 because they were digital asset backed banks, or they had a division of digital assets. Silvergate was completely a digital asset bank. My opinion and theory was the JP Morgans of the world were like, oh, no, 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 no. money's not leaving our balance sheet going there. So there was some sort of a, decision made behind the scenes to shut those banks down, even though they were solvent and strong. And imagine what they would be today. So you saw, like anything in life, when you have the good old boy network running that monopoly or that world or that segment, they're going to poo-poo it till they figure out how to make money with it, and then they're going to bless it. And that's what we're seeing now. We'd love for you to have Bitcoin in our bank. We'd love for you to have digital assets in our bank. We'd love for you to buy our stable coin, which we think is going to be more powerful than the treasuries or the CDs or other instruments that we offer our clients. So it's actually insulting if you analyze it, but I'm grateful for the adoption of it, because now companies like us don't have to worry about any debanking with an account, because you might be operating with an asset class that they don't acknowledge. This happened in CBD, marijuana, THC industry.
Yeah, I've seen that.
99% of the banks did not support that, because it's not a federally approved drug for over-the-counter use or for just regular retail experiencing. So banks have seen, we don't understand your business, we don't understand what you're selling, it's not federally approved across the country, even though certain states will have approval. So we're seeing the same thing happening again with digital assets and crypto, and it's hysterical. So you go back a few years, these same CEOs and leaders are saying, "Oh hell no, it's not real, it's fake." It's and I'm not the Bitcoin guy. I'm grateful for Bitcoin because it allowed all these things to happen. But we don't have a Bitcoin treasury model. I need a token or a digital asset to be backed by something tangible, like a piece of real estate or precious metals or a business or a music catalog. I can't get behind it being attached to a commodity that can be manipulated. So that's my personal opinion on Bitcoin. And I believe a lot of tokens will hit the market and continue to take away the market share of Bitcoin, which is around mid to high 60% of the market share. So at one point it was 100%, and you're going to start seeing, I believe, it become less and less. And other great projects and companies that now have banking approvals, that regulatory laws and bills are being passed to support it. I think you're going to see a tremendous movement like the .com era on steroids is what I feel like we're experiencing right now.
So I've understood what you said, and obviously you've touched on basically the banking seeing digital assets as more acceptable now. So I did want to ask, how do you see tokenization evolving over the next 5 years? I'm basically flipping the last question.
Well, what we need to see happen is 99% of them are garbage, or these tremendous market caps on meme tokens that are just driven by hype and marketing and worth a fortune. Farcoin, I just saw this morning, is a $16 billion.
Yeah.
I think it's 16 billion. It's $1.62 per coin. Like, what? So, like any investment, a retail investor or supporter, you got to do due diligence. You got to make sure you know who's running these things, know if they're really backed by some good management, or if they have a really good plan, or if there's some sort of a business there or asset there, rather than, I'm going to take your money, I'm going to take 90% of it and put 10% into marketing and just get some other idiot to come and buy it at a higher price. Like those are the pitfalls that hurt the evolution of this industry. So there's got to be some more. Even these exchanges need to do some more work on who they allow on their platform to protect their customer base. And I think you're going to see security tokens, which is what I focus on. They're securities. It's the evolution of stocks and equities and bonds, but it's a token or the piece of asset that's backed by the token. So I think you're going to also see the evolution of these youth of the world that were smart enough to buy these ridiculously valuable tokens or crypto or meme tokens. I think you're going to see those market caps disappear. And I think as these people get older and more mature, they're going to look for more sophisticated investments, but they're always going to love crypto. They're always going to love things like NFT and tokenization. So having that applied into real businesses, I think you're going to see some strength in that movement. And everything's going to be tokenized. I've been talking about this since, again, over 10 years. Larry Fink and BlackRock started talking about it over a year ago. So now it's become mainstream. The majority of the world is not even going to know they did a transaction, and then there's a token somewhere in their phone or their wallet or their digital wallet. That's when it hits the scale. But I think it's going to be really exciting for consumers and investors. I give this example a lot. Imagine if you went to Macy's and you have your Macy's reward card, you get your 10% off, you get your points. But imagine if the clerk or the person helping you, when they scanned your phone or your QR code or whatever, and the system said, oh, this is not just a Macy's reward insider, they're also a stockholder. They also own our tokenized Macy's stock, or they have their Macy's security token. So it's a whole brand new way of really knowing your customer and supporting the ones that are supporting you. And I think it even evolves more into your customers actually participate in some sort of fractional ownership of the companies that they visit, and they actually earn back. So I think you're going to start seeing these really good loops in a customer's journey, and how brands and stores or companies can really treat their customers and their supporters the right way, and their investors the right way.
Yeah, nice. Brian, I get the feeling that you have like a lot of exposure to, many different industries, but I wanted to ask, where are you seeing like artificial intelligence make the most positive impact today within your industry?
Yeah, I talk a lot about this. I'm very disappointed in AI and how fragmented it is, and the billions of dollars that have gone into it. And the consumer sees the most impact when they're on X, not on the drugs, but they're on Twitter. They're on, and you're just seeing AI create these toy boxes with them in it, right? Or they're creating all different types of things. They're ChatGPT and anything, and they're thinking that they're the smartest person in the world. I'm really not a fan of that. I would have really loved, okay, we're going to raise billions of dollars for AI, and we're going to do these different segments. We're going to go into the food and agricultural world, and we're going to make sure there's no, we're going to solve food security for billions of people around the world that are starving. We're going to utilize AI for implementing new fresh water initiatives to help ensure that we're getting fresh, clean water to everybody, because it should be a basic human right. Or we're going to go all in on AI. We're going to cure cancer or heart disease or things like ALS. Like, it's just so fragmented, and there's all these different bullshit use cases. Companies are raising billions of dollars for what? Because it's a buzzword. Prior to this, it was Meta. That was a huge buzzword, right? We're going to build in the metaverse, and then it was NFTs, and it say a lot. Yeah, AI is going to probably solve all of man's or woman's emotional issues that cause problematic situations in our lives, and maybe that'd be 100 years from now. But we all live in today. So how do we utilize these new technology advancements, but not hurt people or fire people or replace hundreds or thousands or millions of people, because there's these new cost savings initiatives that public companies need to roll out because they want to just be more profitable. And the first thing you do to be more profitable is you get rid of people. So those are a lot of my concerns with AI. I mean, I'm a technologist, so when I talk negative about it, it's not really who I am, but I see so many concerns. I see no guardrails. I see no regulatory rules around what is this doing? How is this affecting industries? And how can you stop it, right? How can you throttle it if it gets too advanced for our own well-being?
I agree with that, because I think I read something in the paper not too long ago where essentially I think because with AI, I think it's come such a long way, and obviously with regards to policies, again, they're very fragmented as well. So I think now they're actually starting an initiative to basically harmonize all the actual policies, because with AI, I think no one can kind of predict the trajectory and where it's going. So I think it's hard to do that. I'm not too sure how they're going to do that, but I guess it's
but
the
I'm
task
sure they're
to start.
using AI to create that universal policy, which is not me. You need human interaction. We need human interaction too. It's how frustrating it is to call a company and you're talking to an AI agent or a machine, and they try to make it as human as possible, but it's never going to be that. And it's another, like, these things, even though we're connected with thousands or millions of people, they've made us more antisocial. And now AI is another layer on top of that, where we just don't know how to interact with one another.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Brian, what's your opinion on agentic AI then? Because obviously, I think, because I do a lot of reading in the subject, and I've seen like the UK is now investing $1 billion into agentic AI. Germany is investing 20 billion. So do you think it's going to enhance the problem in terms of, I guess, that kind of human interaction, or do you think it'll make it better? Because as you said, the main thing is, oh, sorry, I'm rambling on. Go on.
No, good. No, I want to hear it. Good. You're not rambling. It's your
No.
show. I'm here. I can hear you. I can just sit and listen to
But
you guys.
you're the special guest. But what I was gonna say is, like, the main thing, obviously, like you said, is the main thing that firms want to do to make profit is cut people. So do you think that's gonna have I think it will have a major impact, but I did want to just get your opinion.
Yeah, it's tough to answer that unless I see where the money's flowing into what and who and what aspects of that. So, everything everywhere is decided by special interest lobbyists and who's going to win with that amount of money. So if you're empowering already the rulers of the world, which will be these social media companies, there's really only a handful of legitimate, I'll put that in quotes, AI companies that have credibility. And I don't even know how they have credibility, being that it's such in its infancy. And even Elon on a post a month ago or so, I think he said Grok needs to do better. This response sucks. Like even his own product, now that's a human being saying something about AI, which I think that tweet that he put out, I think that was a very powerful suggestion to my point, which is you need human controls over where this evolves into and how this evolves into. And all I keep thinking about is Minority Report with Tom Cruise, of what this. You should watch it if you haven't. It's an old movie, but it's what are they making, the cogs, if I'm not mistaken, in Minority Report, precogs, and the whole thing was preventing crime. So it was utilizing these special individuals, whatever you want to call them, but it was about, okay, this person's potentially going to do a crime based upon this algorithm, so that we're going to arrest them or kill them or get rid of them before it even happens. Like we're moving towards that, and identifying anybody anywhere at a moment's notice. We're already there. And especially in your guys' world, I mean, you guys have some of the most advanced facial recognition and monitoring systems in the world. So is that a fun place to live? Everybody's living in Big Brother and not getting paid for it.
I do like that analogy, but so in terms of like AI in your actual industry bags, I feel like we've talked a lot about the drawbacks. So how do you use it in your industry, and how do you use it in EA, for example?
Very limited. I'm very vocal about this. I have very strong. I'm kind of allergic to it. I have these ethical reactions to it. It's a necessary evil. But I'm very careful as to how it's being used, what it's being used on, if we're even going to use it at all. I like people, I want to make sure that our culture is always focused on our people and more people in the future and creating opportunities for people. I know AI is the first thing that takes that away. Like last month, the fastest grossing new band was an AI band. Nobody knew it was AI. That's scary effing place to be for the music industry or any creator. And I feel terrible for graphic artists right now, or animators. Like, done. And then it's going to be doctors, done. Then it's going to be lawyers, done. I don't know. I see it very clearly. What do you do with all these people? Hundreds of millions of people. What do you do with that? Then it becomes a socialist society, because, oh, don't worry, we're going to create this. I always get the word wrong, either utopia or euphoria. Pick the one. It's one of those two. We're going to create this perfect world. You're going to get what we allow you to get. There's going to be digital currencies. Stay in line, and you can get your food today. And if you act out of line, you're not going to get your food today. Like, this is where we're going if people don't shake their heads and say something. Got a revolution against you guys. That'll never happen again, because everybody is it'll never happen again. Ever. There's no fight in people anymore. There's no urge to change. We're all just in this very chaotic, nervous state all the time. Who's bombing who? Tariffs. It's just every day. There's doom and gloom and fear to keep you there while all these decisions are being made without anybody doing any kind of uprising.
Yeah. And you know what? What's kind of funny, actually? So with our outreach, so a couple of months ago, I built a tool which essentially scrapes LinkedIn emails, and then we can plug it into another tool we developed, and we can do like mass outreach. And then one of the things that we noticed is that we lost that kind of human touch element, and I feel like we definitely saw that in terms of like our open rate. So then even the reason why I got this point is because now we have someone who basically analyzes the accounts. who were going to jump on the podcast, for example, or just do our marketing in general. And then we had somebody message us and was like, oh, this message sounds very personal. Is this a real person? Is this AI? And we went into a whole kind of conversation with obviously the experience from when we actually started the mass outreach with AI versus doing it with the human touch element. So I think people are still kind of very aware of the AI versus the human touch element, and it's still clear to see. So me saying that is, I feel like number one, there is still hope, and number two, if you do combine AI with that human touch element, I think that's where we'll have the best productivity, and I think that's the main thing that we do, and that's what we kind of realize is the best thing for our journey.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely. I mean, again, adapt or die. I mentioned this with tokens and crypto. I get it. You're absolutely right, and that's a safe path and a smart path. I'm just going to be very careful how it's implemented in our businesses. And also, I don't know, I guess I'm a control freak because usually it's my ass on the line when I'm funding
Fair
or
enough.
out there. Like, I'm not going to rely on a computer or an algorithm that's never going to match what goes on in my head and understand emotion's key in everything. I need to feel the emotion of whoever I'm talking to know how I'm supposed to reciprocate the conversation. This AI engine, I don't care how close it gets, it's never going to understand, oh, I need to pivot. Oh, I need to pull back. I need to change my tone, or I need to go in harder. Like, no. And then that's going to affect business, and that's going to affect getting that contract or getting that deal or getting the best margins on that product. And that's going to then domino in, shit, I got to fire people, or I can't make rent, or whatever. It can come from a stupid conversation that's not handled correctly. Has all these butterfly effect right after it.
Brian, your point when you was pushing it back on artificial intelligence, it was fairly interesting because a lot of the guests that we have had on, they're all for it. So yeah, just your points about pushing back on it is, yeah, we like it. And I like the fact that you are all for people moving forward. It does show where your heart is at, especially where the world is going. But I did want to ask, as with all the love that you do have for people, I must take that you must have like a huge network. So I kind of wanted to ask, what's the key of, keeping those, connections and sustaining those connections?
It's the most important thing in life. A lot of keys. You build a connection relationship first, and there may never be an ask. That's got to be a genuine connection. Too many people, even I'll wake up to 100 LinkedIn messages with a war of peace message about what they want from me and demand. And they never even said hello. Never said, hey, how are you? I never even pointed out to maybe something I said to build the relationship. So first and foremost is do some research, build connections with people that either you admire, they inspire you, or you just feel this energy with. Comment on their stuff, like their stuff, reshare their stuff, let them see you. It may take years to get their attention, but you need to be committed to it. Go to them and say, hey, I love what you're doing. How can I help you? Don't go, I've never gone anywhere with my hand out and trying to take from people. I always go in, how can I help you? And then it evolves into, what can we do together? And where's the synergies? Again, there may never be an ask. And that person that you're trying to connect with may not be the reason for the connection. It may be somebody that they know. So let them earn their trust, build the relationship. Say happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Easter, saw you had a baby, saw your grandfather, grandmother. Let them know you care and be a squeaky wheel. Every Christmas, Easter, Hanukkah, I'm sending personal messages to, I don't even want to tell you the number, just letting them know, hey, there's someone out in the world really respects and admires our friendship and our relationship. Thinking about you and your family today, boom, out. It's a lot of work. People don't want to do that shit because it's a lot of work. And then people get mad because they don't move the needle or they don't get the deal because they asked for the deal in the first conversation. They didn't earn it. I take offense to people not working. I've worked since I was 8 years old. You need to go out there and work. You need to hustle. You need to get scrappy. You don't sit in the corner and say, oh, poor me, I didn't get it. No, you got to go out and get it. And you get it by working hard and being consistent and earning people's trust and admiration.
You're right. I think the ones that we do reply to versus we don't, I think it just misses that element of care. And especially what hit home is like asking a simple hello instead of you've just basically saying me, and that needs to kind of be refined. And you know what, if the message was just only had a few more tweaks, and it could be the most amazing solution, but just because you didn't actually say
Care.
hello, yeah,
And care.
exactly.
Well, it's a game of numbers, right? What's the old statement? Oh, if I ask 100 girls out on a date and I get one girl out on a date, I'm doing good. It's the same thing applies to marketers and PR firms. But I don't. Again, if you're scraping LinkedIn, you're talking about nearly 1 billion users, right? It's a volume play. If you're going to put a machine out there and you have a formula that every 1,000 that go out, I don't know, 0.5% gets open and 0.5% gets clicked on and 0.5% gets converted, and that pays your bills. I have no problem with that. But if you want something deeper and something more meaningful and something with real value and long-term partnership, because the other model too is replacing who you lost because it was just a conversion. It was just transactional. The relationship was just simply transactional. There was nothing more to it. So that means you got to get new ones. You got to replace the old ones that fall off. That's a lot of work too. It all depends on your business model. I never judge other people and their business models or their activities. I just know what I need to do. I know it works for me.
No, absolutely. Because I think, like I said to you before, I think once we were doing that and we kind of converted it to basically seeing firstly what firms that we actually have the most synergy with, and then actually adding that element of care to it, I feel like that's really made it's made a massive dent. And I feel like you just saying it's just kind of reaffirming it to me, because even I don't know, the clients that we had previously when we were just doing like our mass campaign, it was more just built on, this is what we're going to do for you, these are results, that's it, if you know what I mean. Rather than now we have clients where we've met their children, we've gone out to like dinners with
That's
them.
how you do it.
It just
That personal
transforms the process,
touch.
like the whole process. Exactly.
That's how you do it. I'll add my personal opinion to that. If we're not blood, I'll hang out with your family and your kids, but if they call me uncle, I'm out. And if the guy calls me brother, I'm out. Because every time in my history, building that relationship, if that ever happens, those people screw me. So I got a couple of red flags. I love hanging out with families. I love building that relationship, but do not call me brother or uncle, because you're never going to see me again. So I just wanted to drop that little personal sidebar experience.
Okay.
Especially when they put the arm around you and say, hey, brother.
Yeah, because the other arm, this knife is in your throat. It's odd. I say it with such vengeance and authority because like it's happened to me so many times. And that's when it hurts more. That's why I have this really emotional connection to it. Like you build this relationship from business to friendship to really being part of that family, and then it could be over in a second. And I'm transparent to a fault. Like I know I'm always here to help. I'm always here to give. So it's disheartening at times when you're doing that and you're building those relationships, and then the other person, you got to just be careful to do it with the right people. And the only way you know if it's the right people is having the past experience. Like now I can spot that guy's a phony. He'll say and wine and dine me and say the right things. He's a sleazeball. I want nothing to do with it. But if I didn't have the previous experiences of knowing that same person I'm meeting now, just with different clothes and a different name, I wouldn't be able to spot it and eliminate it from happening in my life, rather than trying to more proactive of just making sure the problem never happens, opposed to trying to resolve it.
That makes perfect sense. So I did want to ask Brian, so obviously I think what we've experienced as well is in the world of business, I feel like partnerships are definitely beneficial. So what's your ideology when it comes to kind of sussing out the right partners and making sure it's actually going to be like a mutually beneficial relationship?
Again, this works for me, so no judgment. I have to see strong ethics, integrity, character, morals, values. I need to see empathy. So I have simple little tricks or tasks, not tasks, or like situations, how they treat anybody in the service industry if you're out together, how they treat a waiter, how they treat somebody in a hotel lobby, how they respond to people that they know they can't get anything from. If that person that they know is not a mark and they can't get anything from, and they don't even see them, I'm gone. I want nothing to do with it. If they're flashing me their fancy watch, or they're talking about their fancy vacations, or their bullshit car, or they're showing me a belt with a letter on it, I'm out. Like, as I know you're motivated by money. And if you're motivated by money and that's your God, then you'll do anything you can to get more of it, which would put me in harm's way. So I'm out. I don't care if we can make $1 billion together. No interest, because I've experienced these assholes before. Like, I don't need it in my life. treat people right, do good, throw good out there. Let me see you being a good person. Comes back in good health, comes back in good experiences. Sometimes it comes back with financial upsides. It comes back in different forms. So those are the things I look for. And also with what I built, I do like principal to principal transactions because my company model has been time is our most precious commodity. So I really don't love spending a lot of time with somebody that's not really in depth of a company that could leave in a second. I don't know how many times you've been doing a deal and all of a sudden the person you're supposed to be doing the deal with had left, got fired, went to another job. Like, that's all wasted time. So if you can do the same energy and the same relationship building, but with a decision maker that's an owner or principal or someone that you know that's not leaving, that's the person I want to connect with and build the relationship with. So it's got to be like, it should be peanut butter and jelly. It should be, I say this and do this, you say this and do that. And within the next second, we've created value on both sides. That's where I want to be. Win-win situations, win-win for everybody. So that's where I try to focus on. Who's the right person? What's the right opportunity? I'm a connector. I love connecting people. What I learned too late in my life is not just connecting the right person, but it's connecting the right people or persons at the right time. So you need to know if all these things line up properly. Can this company or person do what I know they can do with this company or person? And can that company or person do what that other company or person wants to do? Is it the right time? And then if it is, it's magic. It's a great moment. And then as a connector, someone like me, I am controlling the situation. I'm making sure it doesn't go sideways because my relationships are on both sides. And I'm ensuring that me and my companies or stakeholders are getting what we're supposed to be getting. And I'm not chasing for empty promises or crumbs because that's a whole nother story and conversation. So hopefully that answers your question. Immediate results, ethical, good, strong character and morals in people. Need to see empathy. I need to see people feeling bad for people and understanding that life is hard and not treat people poorly.
Yeah,
Again, that was a great take.
yeah, I was just gonna say, Brian, there's a phrase that I tend to go by is manners make a man. So I certainly do hear you on the integrity side of things. So yeah, really good take. I did want to ask as well. I would imagine that quite a lot of deals and and created a lot of partnerships. Is there any that you're particularly proud of, and is there a reason why you are?
I'm proud of them all, even the ones that went sideways, because I learned so much. I think what we're doing at DLMI, the public company, it's really my life's work. I'm the most proud of what we've done there. We've taken a company with $1 million market cap when I took it over to a high of 500 million over the last 2 years, and just our work, our vision, our strategy. And first time I asked people to support me. So if you look at DLMI, it's been rebranded as Diamond Lake. And you look at our board and our team, these are icons, right? I started in the beauty industry. I used to sell nail polish and lotions and potions. And to see what I was doing in the late 90s to the people I'm around, and humbled and honored to be around people that are humbled that they would put their name attached to me and want to help me and support me. It's the most rewarding experience ever. And people just need to know life is hard. Life sucks if you sat and thought about it, because what we're doing is not what we're supposed to be here to do. This whole money bullshit, this bills and living in stress, that's when Adam and Eve poofed, or Darwin's theory is correct, whatever it is, none of this stuff was there, right? It was a beautiful earth, and we're supposed to just enjoy it and build great relationships. I'm going on a strong tangent, but from what we're doing today and the stresses that we have from the minute we wake up, we don't even get a restful sleep because our brains are so scared in our sleep. It's not right. So, but if you can try to put that in the back of your head and just have a magical moment, even if it's for a second in the day, and that's building a great relationship, seeing somebody there for you or supporting you, getting a deal closed, whatever it is, or having a great hamburger, whatever gives you joy, that's so important. So when you understand that, and you understand, just keep pushing forward, and life can change with one text message, one email, or one phone call. It could change in a second. That's the beautiful thing about life. But it's not going to do that if you're not powering through it and you're not overcoming the constant beatings that you get just from waking up in the morning. You just have to power through that. It's not right. It's the way of the world. It's how we have to operate. But you find the right person, you connect with the right person, and everything can just change. And you connect with the wrong person, that can go the other way too. It's just as long as your emotion, it's the most important thing. But you don't want to drink out of a stale, stagnant pool of water that's just sitting there and gross. But when you see a stream flowing and it just looks so inviting, that's because it's in motion. It's good energy. It's healing. You just have to have these types of visualizations in your brain when you're trying to power through the day.
Absolutely. And just a final question before we wrap up, Brian. Do you have, if you were to give an entrepreneur just starting out one piece of advice, what would you give?
Yeah, I have a quote I say, so everybody can be an overnight success if you wake up each new day a little smarter, stronger, and wiser than the day before. So I think you need to learn as much as you can every day. You need to just figure out what lessons you were taught, either you created on your own or life threw at you. What was the learning experience, and how do you not do that again the next day? And how do you go out the next day with a whole brand new mindset of new learnings and new experiences and new understanding? And an entrepreneur needs to understand they're not alone. It's the loneliest place to be. So you need to connect with people. I think LinkedIn is a phenomenal platform for entrepreneurs to just find like-minded individuals, whether their age, younger, 50 years older, it doesn't matter. Find somebody that can be your ride and die on this journey with you, because you need it. You need emotional support. I'm going to throw one more. It was a lot more, but I'm going to throw one more that I learned too late. This whole 2 inner circle concept, you need 2 inner circles. Your first one is where you grew up in, your family, your friends, classmates, teammates. Those are people that really, odds are they're never going to understand an entrepreneurial mindset. They're not the people you go to try to get the emotional energy tank refilled. Like, they're actually going to do you more harm, because you're sharing things with them that they don't understand. You're sharing deals that are in limbo. You're sharing, oh, I just got this new contract, I'm going to get X, Y, and Z. And then the next day the contract falls apart. The person was lying. They don't even have a bank. They're not even sending the wire. And then you have your inner circle, your family and friends saying, hey, how's that contract? And then you're sitting there, shit, I got to deal with life and
We've been there
work,
too many times.
and I got to deal with shit at home. Like, you don't have a safe place to go. So you have to really only share, I say share nothing with that first inner circle. They're there to just be your escape and your family, your friends, and your loved ones. But if you share anything, it's a wire that cleared. It's a tangible transaction that closed. It's real. Nothing in limbo, nothing in purgatory. Your other inner circle are your entrepreneurs out there, your fellow comrades that are there in the war, in the trenches with you as you're fighting. They get disappointment, they get hurdles, they get speed bumps, they get setbacks. You can share anything you want with that group, because they're like, Brian, you're not getting that deal. What are you, crazy? They're not. This Saudi prince isn't sending you $1 billion tomorrow. Like, they understand that that's bullshit. But if the rare chance that it's not, they're also there to be so happy for you and praise you. That first inner circle, even when you get those deals, they're not going to be happy for you, because they have their own insecurities and bullshit that they're dealing with. So the less you share with an inner circle, the first one, the better relationships that you're going to have. So these are my learning experiences. I'm not trying to preach to people. I just know what I wish I learned earlier, and I know what makes my life a little bit more calm from knowing how to manage all this.
Well, I think even that second take, when you just took us through with regards to like the inner circle and the entrepreneurial circle, I wish I knew that a couple months ago, because when we kind of just started the journey, I was saying, yeah, we're just about to sign this contract, and then as you said, it can just fall apart the next day, and then having to come back and explain it, it's just it's a conversation that is just unnecessary. If our viewers want to find you, what's your LinkedIn? What's your website? You got to let us know.
Yeah, Brian J. Esposito on all social platforms. Get back to everybody. I don't have an AI engine responding for me, or never had an assistant in my life. Not my style. And then my private holdings, EIE.rocks, so EIE.ROCKS. And the public company, DLMI, is diamondlakeminerals.com. And take a look at what we're doing. Love speaking with people. Reach out to me anytime, ask questions. I love connecting with people, and honored to be a resource or some sort of support system for anybody.
Thank you for sharing that, Brian. And once again, just thank you for jumping on the Navvai Shift podcast. It's honestly been an insightful one, and the conversation definitely took a turn, but I'm very happy about that.
Honored to be here, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Brian.
Brian.